I'm Chief Patrick Lynn. On behalf of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, I'm pleased to report that due to the 2018 SAKI grant, our working partners, and our outstanding personnel, we have made tremendous progress in apprehending suspects in cold case sexual batteries. This is an ongoing effort, and we anticipate further arrests.
The National Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, or SAKI, is a program that is operated by the Department of Justice. In my research, I came across that grant and I notified Special Victims Unit Sergeant Martinez. And in our discussions, we determined that this might be a good fit for us.
The SAKI grant is an initiative that helps police departments throughout the nation to test rape kits that, for whatever reason, were not tested previously. It could be that they didn't have the technology, they didn't have the staffing, or they didn't have the money. A lot of times it's simply funding. It's very expensive to test a kit, and it's manpower intensive. It's not only testing the kit, but now you get results from the kit. Now that comes back and we need to investigate, and that takes resources away from current cases.
Upon reviewing the grant, we realized that we had to do an inventory of all of our rape kits. And also we realized that this program would be a successful tool to close some of the gaps within the department as it pertained to cold case investigations for sexual assault.
Looking to see why we needed to do the SAKI grant, we learned that kids that were tested prior to 1999, for example, were not tested with new technology, with the current DNA technology. So all those kids, although they were tested prior to 1999, they were not tested with current technology that can help us identify a suspect. We identified approximately 271 kids that had not gone to the lab. When we reviewed those cases, we learned that a lot of them were cases where the victim refused to cooperate. The cases were classified as under suspicious incidents or suspicious circumstances, and the protocols have changed over the years. So previously, if the case was not prosecutable, it was not uncommon to not send the kit.
About 3 years ago, I was assigned cold cases involving sexual batteries. These sexual batteries happened anywhere from 10 years ago all the way to over 20 years ago. Of these cases, I was assigned 42 cases, of which 3 we made arrest on. One of them is currently with the state attorney's office waiting for a capias to be issued for his arrest. These cases are very brutal in nature. One victim was held at knife point. Another victim was tied, while another victim was repeatedly raped while she was in and out of consciousness for several hours.
We have seen very good results. We identified initially 271 kids that were not sent to the lab. On the first SAKI grant, we were able to test 140 kids. Out of those 140 kids, we were able to obtain 66 coded profiles that were entered by the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office lab. That caused us to reopen and review approximately 42 to 44 cases. Out of the 42 to 44 cases, we have been able to successfully file the case and arrest 3 suspects. 3 suspects that were, one was a career offender, another one had several sexual batteries, even a homicide. Another one was a local Broward County guy who gets arrested all the time and is obviously victimizing the community.
So when I contacted the victims to let them know that their case had been reopened and a suspect had been identified after so many years, they were shocked and surprised. During my conversation with them, they had expressed to me their relief that they had not been forgotten.
When we apply for the SAKI grant, it has to be a multidisciplinary approach where you have to involve other agencies. So we work closely with the Nancy J. Cotterman Center, which is the Broward County Certified Sexual Assault Treatment Center. Obviously, we have to work with the Broward County State Attorney's Office, and we have to work with the private lab that we contracted to do the work, and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office lab, who volunteered to do the work for us once the information came back from the private lab. Because of them, we've been able to enter hits into CODIS and get results and identify possible suspects.
My name is Desmond FOONG. I'm a crisis counselor with the Nancy J. Cotterman Center of Broward County, and I've been with them for about 7 years. The Nancy J. Cotterman Center is Broward County's only certified sexual assault program and child advocacy center. We provide a wide array of services such as advocacy, counseling, and consultations with our law enforcement and child protective investigation stakeholders. One of the services we do offer is the forensic medical examination, which includes the rape kit for sexual assault survivors. All of our nurse practitioners are sexual assault nurse examiner trained, meaning they meet the national training standards for sexual assault forensic medical examiners. This ensures that any evidence that is a part of the rape kit is collected in a uniform and standard way across the board.
I think that the biggest benefit to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, well, I wouldn't say it's to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, really, is to survivors of sexual assault, is that we're looking into things. It gives us the resources to test the kids that we were not able to test before. It helps us identify suspects in sexual batteries. It helps us take those people off the streets so they don't victimize anyone else. We have a very good process now. We have a monthly review of rape kits, coupled with a new Florida law that requires test kits to be tested within a certain period of time. So I don't foresee this happening. There may be one here and there that it could happen to for unforeseen circumstances, but the only way that a rape kit is not tested today will be if the case is found to be unfounded. If a victim doesn't want to prosecute, the kit will still go to the lab and be processed. It has to be by Florida law.